Shalom Aleichem, good New Shabbos, and Shkir to Toli as we speak. It's a pleasure, it's always good to speak here. With Taylor, it's good. A very interesting Parsha with Pinchas, the Kanos, everyone knows. The Haftarah, we have Eliyahu, it says about Eliyahu with his Kanos, the Har Carmel, that, not the Har Carmel Atzmai, but later it says that Isabel said she's going to kill him for killing the people, etc. And we see Kanuz here.
We don't say this Shabbos, but this is after Pinchas. But we don't say this Shabbos.
Why?
Because we say matters. We have to
Okay, very good. Say there. And the Maisa, we see here two Kanuz of Pinchas, Chazal said Pinchas Eliyahu, Shita in the Gemara, there's other Shitas, it wasn't the same person. And we see something very, very interesting. Another one of the famous haftarahs of YITZCHOK a few weeks ago. And YITZCHOK, he was called by his shevet, by Klal Yisrael, to come be a shevet and save them. He went to war with Bnei Ammon. He won the war, and later there was a problem with the neder. He made a Shiyat Tziri Pesach Dalsei Beisi, whoever's going to come out of my home will be a Korban Hashem, and it came out his daughter. He didn't know what to do. He locked her up in a tower. So he says he could have been Matir Neder. Go to Pinchas. And the problem was Yiftach said, no, Pinchas should come to me. And Pinchas said, Yiftach should come to me. Here became a Chalekes, no one did anything. And his daughter, Haisat Surah, Adu in Maisa, she was a prisoner in this tower until the day she died. Never got married, etc. So, Chazal tell us a tremendous punishment happened to both Pinchas and Yiftach. I can't tell you which one is worse. You work it out and tell me yourself. The punishment of Pinchas was he lost his kehuna. He lost his kehuna. Gedoyle. He was a kohen gadol, right? Aaron was a kohen gadol, then Elazar, then Pinchas. Pinchas was a kohen gadol until that time with Yiftach, it stopped. Yorad mi gulase. And now the reason for it, by the way, just understand, he lost his ruach hakodesh, and when he lost his ruach hakodesh, you can't interpret the Urim V'Tumim. A Kohen Gadol hasn't got Urim V'Tumim, can't be Mitargim because there's no Lashon HaKodesh, out of his job. Someone else replaced him. Then, Yiftach, what was his punishment? It says, V'yit Brusa B'chol Ori Yisrael, the Pasuk says. They buried him in all the places. What happened? Hoya Hoylech V'Neiflim Evari Gufa. A finger would fall off there, they buried it, the hand would fall off here, a leg here. Lat. His whole body fell apart to pieces and he was buried all over Eretz Yisrael. It's got many, many graves. Which one is the worst punishment? You decide. Terrible. Now, we need to understand, we can't speak about Gedolim like these people and say, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu punish them and so on. That's beyond us. But once Chazal tell us that they got punished because of something specific, which is for not being matir the neder, not coming to this, not coming to that, then we have a mitzvah to try to explain what happened here. Because Chazal told us the reason. Just mechatesa, I mean, someone didn't go to the other person. Such a gross hate that he's worthwhile being buried all over Ori Yisrael, loses Kohen Gadol, loses Ruach HaKodesh. That's a very big shiloh which needs a tshuva. Let's just get the history to understand. When was Pinchas born? Okay, not 100% clear. But it was sometime before Yitzias Mitzrayim. Because we know, why didn't he become a Kohen? Because he was already born Livnei Ma'aseh. That means when his father Elazar became a Kohen, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made Aaron and the 4 sons Kehanim, and whoever was born from the Kehanim later became a Kohen. We don't know if Aaron had maybe sons after the 4 sons, Efsha, Kenzain, but the 4 sons definitely had sons later. Well, not Nolan Avihu, who didn't get married, but Elazar and Isama, they had sons. They became the Kehanim, all the Kehanim we know today. Pinchas was already born, so we know that he was, when did Aaron become a Kohen? The time they made the Mishkan. The Mishkan was at, was Rosh Chodesh Nisan 2449, one year after they came out of Mitzrayim. So Kenzain Pinchas was a young baby of 1 year old. Kenzain was 10 years old, 20 years old, we don't know. He was born around that time. Till when do we know 100% that he was alive? Without taking into account Chazal saying that he's Eliyahu. Till when do we know that he was alive? It's in the first pasuk in the Navi that he was, David HaMelech appointed him to be the Shomer Oitzvus HaMikdash. Pinchas and Elazar the son of Pinchas, they were nimna to be the people in charge of Oitzes Beis HaMikdash time of David HaMelech. If you worked it out, simple years, David HaMelech died in 2924. Beis Alofim, whatever, Tov Kuf Chof Dalet. And Yitzias Mitzrayim was in 2448. You worked it out, it's Be'erech, something like, do quickly, 2924 minus 2448. It's about 460 years or something. Okay, now, that we know. So Pinchas was at least about 460 years old. He wasn't a Kohen already for quite a few years. What year did it happen, the Maaseh? When was Yiftach the Navi? When was the Shofet, sorry? He was a Shofet in 2782 to 2787. 6 years. And in those 6 years, the war was mamish at the beginning when they appointed him. At that point, after the war, he lost his job, Pinchas. So we're looking about 2782, which means he was Kohen until Be'erech 150 years before the time of David HaMelech. And then he lost.
It says in the Pusik, Bris Kunas Oil, give it the Kun forever.
Kohen Gadol once, you're right, sorry. He lost his Kohen Gadol. Not Kohen, you're right, sorry. I didn't say it correctly. He lost his job as the Kohen Gadol. Now, so this is a terrible thing. Let's look on further later. When Eli HaKohen became the Kohen, it says in Chazal Mefurish, Eli was a Talmud of Pinchas. So Pinchas was the Kohen Gadol who was removed from the job. He's teaching his Talmud who becomes the Kohen Gadol. Eli was in which year? He was a Shofet in 2831 to 2870. Then we find later, in the time of David HaMelech, time of Shaul HaMelech, who was the Kohen Gadol at Noivir Kehanim? No, Yosef was later. This was
the son of Achimelech.
Achimelech ben Achitov, I think, right?
Yes.
He was the Kohen, and then Shaul HaMelech killed him.
Yes.
And then later,
Evyasa won away,
Evyasa ran with David at the end. There was still another one before Evyasa, by David HaMelech, who the two guys in the time of David HaMelech, it was, Can't you? Tzaddik Kohen. Right. Tzaddik was the Kohen, and he lost that job when he went together with the merid of the rebellion of, no, he didn't. No. If Yosef was a Kohen, later became Tzaddik. If Yosef lost the job and Tzaddik became the Kohen Gadol. So again, we see many Kohanim Gedolim while Pinchas was still alive. He lost his job and that was it, he never got it back. It's a terrible, terrible punishment. And what went wrong? I want to say Yisoid, which I think is a Pashto Yisoid, and I'll show it to you in a few different other places, is as follows. When a person is Oile L'Gedula, Moshe Rabbeinu became the Manig, Aaron became the Kohen Gadol, Shaul HaMelech became a king, David HaMelech became a king, each one had a special midah, a special reason why Bochar Bo Hashem. There has to be a reason. It's not the normal good Yid who was Mekayim Tariyad Mitzvahs. That's fantastic. There has to be something extremely special. Hashem says, B'chol Hashem. There's got to be a reason. So, we'll get there in a few minutes, but let's talk about Pinchas. Pinchas, we know, it's written in Furish in the Torah. The reason was, Bekane is Kinasi. He was a Mekane, L'Shem Shemayim. That's why he got the Kura. The Furish in the Torah. Now, what went wrong at that time? You were worried about saving Klal Yisrael. There's a guy, Shimon ben Gera, he's doing an Avera, not Shimon ben Gera, Zimri ben Salu, had to kill him. They said, good, you saved the whole Klal Yisrael. It's fantastic. What happened later? When there's this young girl who's going to lose her whole life. Her father's right, her father's wrong. Pinchas is right, but there's a young girl who's going to lose her life. Where's your kanos? Ooh, if you lose that special madrega, I have to be very careful. I'm talking here about Gedolim and I have no right to, because I'll tell us that that's the reason he lost it. Just we have to try to understand the reason. I'm not trying to say why he was punished, I'm trying to explain what Chazal is saying that why he got punished. You had the madrega of kanos. That's why you became a Kohen Gadol. You lost that madrega. Take a step back. That's it. What happened by Yiftach? Yiftach, he was a Ben Isha Zayna, it says in the Pasuk, and his Mishpacha, they threw him out. Now Zayna doesn't mean Kipshut Zayna, that would be a Psulchit and whatever. Because I'll say that she was a Pilega, she wasn't a proper marriage, whatever. So it was not Mechubed. He was not the most choshev guy in his Mishpacha. Why was he mismanaged to be a shayfet? Just because he was a powerful guy and he had a group of Reikim around him, like the Pasuk says, that's not the reason. Can't be. Stam ben Yisrael needed a Moshiach who's got big muscles. Can't be. There has to be a special madrega. What was the special madrega of Yiftach? Yiftach was kicked out by his family. And he had the power. He was a powerful man. He had a big group of Reikim, big muscle guys who could have gone back and fought his family and taught them a lesson. He just walked away. He went to the Midbar. He sat in a desolate place. He took life easy and said, "Listen, if you don't want me, I'll step back." It's a tremendous anava. It's an unbelievable madrega. What? Ma'avir Midoisov, and he's Michael, and he's Mechavid his family, and he puts himself second, everything. Kodesh Baruch Hu said, "You're the man." Okay. When they come to him, they say, "You hate me, you know. I don't have a problem coming back home, but you guys don't want me." And they told him, "No, things have changed." At that point, he could have told them, "Well, you cook the porridge, go eat it." He could have said that. He would have been 100% right. I don't even know if we called Nakim of Elatira. You threw me out, ganned it. He said, "Okay, you need me? I'll come back." That's an unbelievable madrega. But again, when he came to his own daughter, what happened? You were so good to your family, to everyone, your Michael, your Mabel, and your daughter, you send her away to a tower to rot away the whole life. Go to Pinchas. Lost it also. We find this a few cases later. This is the famous Shiloh. It says in the Gemara, Shaul, he lost his Malchus, David didn't lose the Malchus. The Gemara says, again, I'm only trying to explain what Chazal say, I'm not trying to have opinions about these Gedolim, we can't. It says, Shaul be'achas, Veloi al-saloi, David b'shtayim ve'al-saloi. Right? Gemara says it, which means that Shaul did one Aveira, he lost his Malchus. David did two Aveiras, and he didn't lose his Malchus. What was Shaul's Aveira? He was Vayachman al Meita Vatzoin Amalek. And what happened by David? David was Bathsheba, and the second head, slipping one moment. What was it? What? I forgot it for the moment. Okay, it's not important. It's not part of the drasha.
בסורי החיתי הורקתו בחרב בני עמל.
החיתי זה בת שבע.
כן, זה שני חטאים.
שני חטאים.
אבל אני כותב אגב, שבדוד בשלמה יש שורש יורד בני עמל.
Good, 100%, fine. If that's the two chatoim, whatever it is. David b'shtayim, ve'al saloi.
There's also the counting.
The what? The counting. Yeah. I can't tell the second one. Anyhow. Lamaisa. So, that's what Chazal say. Ruchanish Malevitz is a famous drasha. He says, why? Why did Shaul lose it for the one sin? Ruchanish Malevitz says as follows. I'm going to say a little bit different. Ruchanish Malevitz says, the Aveira of Shaul was an Aveira which is a stira l'malchus. It's a contradiction to Malchus. What happened is, Vayachmo el almeita v'tzayin. What do you mean Vayachmo? Why were you Vayachmo? Kodesh Baruch Hu said not. And at the end he says, they pressured me. The Am was telling him, so he gave him. That's a stira l'malchus. A melech tells the Am what to do, the Am don't tell the melech what to do. Of course the Am tries to tell them, but that's why you're a leader, you tell them no. So that's what Chaim Shmulevitz says. I'd like to say a different pshat, B'Shushem, and it's as follows. Why did Shaul get the Malchus? What was his great madrega? It says, B'Shichma v'mala mikolam. What was his madrega? What do we see in Chazal? First in the Pasuk, Shaul nechba el akilim. He was an honor, unbelievable. Nechba el akilim. Anav. Yeah. So, Shaul HaMelech, when he didn't want anything, just leave me alone. Chazal say he married only 2 wives. So he's a king, 2 wives, that's punished. Etc. His mama shenech ba'al hakelim. It's an honor, unbelievable. And what he uses another form? To go and lead Klal Yisrael. Kodesh Baruch Hu told him, don't be an honor, lead Klal Yisrael. Fine. He did it. But what went wrong? Over here, the anava we used incorrectly. This beautiful madrega of anava was used wrongly to listen to the nation against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's not anava. That's shiflus. That's giving up. That's another psula. Another psula, he lost his madrega. Again, we're talking about Gelelim according to their chut asayra, but I'm saying whatever it was, let's look on further. Moshe Rabbeinu. Yeah, I'm scared to speak, but I'm just saying, let's look into it, because again, it tells us before the Torah. Why did he lose it? Because of Chet Mei Meriva. He hit the rock. Okay, not so much like this Rishonim and Achronim what the Chet was, but Lamaisa he hit the rock. What was the reason? What was Moshe Rabbeinu's madrega? Why did he become Mismane? The Medrash tells us. Huh?
Moshe?
But no, that's his later. That's by Miriam.
The Shepson.
That's right. It says in the Medrash that Moshe Rabbeinu was running after the sheep ad Hara Midbar. It's possible, right? At Vayavad Hara Midbar Hareba, Chazal tell us there was one sheep ran away. He was running. Kodesh Baruch Hu said, if you're Moshe Nefesh like that for your flock, I'm going to give you my flock. That means Moshe Rabbeinu was the man. I mean, think of it, business-wise. If you have a flock of 100,000 sheep and one runs away, forget it. Let the wolf have it. It's so worthwhile. What's it worth? 100 euro. So move on. Don't lose your life. You got a job to do. Moshe Rabbeinu, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the value. It was about one of my flock is gone. Hey, Tochen, it's my flock. I'm achroi. And he ran. That achroi is for the flock. Wow. You're the man. And what happened at Mei Meriva? He shouted to Israel, Shimon HaMoirim, get lost. I can't take you guys anymore. Let's step back. Again, it's a pachad to speak, but you can see it, mamish timing it. This is the madrega he got, this is the madrega he lost. I wouldn't dare say it if Chazal didn't tell us clearly that this is the reason that he got it, and the Pasuk says this is the reason he lost it. I'm just trying to put together the understanding of how one is connected to the other. I'm not Chas V'Shalom saying anything about Take another thing, Yeroham ben Nevat. Anak Shebanokim, he was a Talmid Chacham Migdela Ador, says he was Derish, Gadlus, RABBI, he was a great man. He was a Talmid of Shlomo HaMelech, one of his big Talmid of Shlomo. He was a great man. Even after he was over the Zohar, the Gemara says he had Makil Gadlus RABBI, he was teaching Torah. And I can't remember the Gemara says, but there was hundreds of thousands of people coming to the Shir. He was an Anak B'Torah. We shouldn't misunderstand, by the way. Take someone like Achor, who was a clear-cut Rasha, and Chazal tell us that he was Doirish, Vashishin Riboy, and so on. Eliyahu was willing to eat meat from Achor's kitchen. And L'chatchila, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the meat from Achor's kitchen. Achor's kitchen was kosher and on the level that Eliyahu could eat from there. We could rather eat from there. Whatever we're eating wasn't as good as Achor's kitchen. And he was never the Zohar. If he would have done the shechita himself, it would have been a shechita psula, because it would have been a Zohar. He had a vadia, whoever took care of his kitchen, it's kosher l'magid. He wanted to be kosher l'magid. Yerovam Kalachayim was much before Achor, much less skillful happened. But, what happened? Why did Yerovam ben Nevat become a king? It says in Furish and Hazal. Right? It says that in the Navi it says he gave it to Chichot, to Shlomo HaMelech. He shouted Shlomo HaMelech, and he had to have guts to do that. Shlomo HaMelech wasn't just the wisest man on planet Earth. It says, Vayech Kam Mikol Adam, of all the people, all history, all put together, including all of us here and all the people before us. And he wasn't just the wisest, he was the most powerful. It says Shlomo Molach B'Kippah, he ruled the whole world. He was the richest in history also probably. The Kitzer, to stand up against Shlomo HaMelech, you needed courage. And he did it. Why? He had tainus from Shlomo HaMelech. He brought in Bas Paroi, Ve'yimale Esamile, Ve'sosam, Ve'sapesach, Yerushalayim, whatever. And Bas Paroi brought the Kshofim and the Avodah Zorah into Yerushalayim. She was one of the people who did that. How did he do that? He made a Bechor. Kodesh Baruch Hu said, okay, you'll get a chance. You be a king. Let's see how you do. And then what did he do? Avodah Zorah. That was the reason you got your madrega. Are you going to lose it? You made a mechor, you got it, and you did it yourself. Shlomo didn't do it himself. It was his Goyish wife who did it. It says she was a Geiris, Kadin, whatever, but it was his Goyish wife. You did it yourself. Now, let me see if I have any other example I wrote down here. No, I think that's it. So I'm saying basically what we're seeing from this whole thing is the Yisrael as follows. Every person in the world can be Oila Gedula if he besides being a kosher good Jew and everything, he also has a very special madriga. Kodesh Baruch Hu says, wow, a choose you. Now, Gedula doesn't mean to be Melech Yisrael. Gedula could be a Rosh Hashiva, could be a Mashgiach, could be the Gav of the Shul, could be the Rav of the Shul, could be anyone gets a certain Gedula according to a certain wow that HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw in you. And otherwise it's going to get to all of us. And one thing you should know, after you get that Gedula, the Yitzhak is going to send you special Nisyonos on that Nekuda that you got your Gedula from. And if you mess it, you're going to lose it. And it's so easy to lose it. It's so easy. Sometimes you might stay in the job. Your Rav was in the job till the day he died, but he lost it. Finished. His family was Nigzar, he told him you're finished, and he was finished. Say that he stayed in his job till the last day. You might be the Rav of the Shul till the day you die, but you're finished. If you got to special Madrega, that's your Oil of the Gdula, you have to make an extra effort to keep that Madrega always. Otherwise, Khalil can lose it.